is Mind Over Number. I am Caronda, a spiritual coach, an intuitive reader, and a numerologist. Over the past few months, I have been compiling a list of common misconceptions that come up when I'm speaking to people on my way out discussing what I do for work, which is numerology. And when I'm speaking to individuals, when I'm speaking to clients, when I'm just overall trying to explain the meaning behind numerology itself, a lot of things get misconstrued. And that list that I've been putting together has slowly been growing every single day. And I want to start off by discussing some of these numerology myths. And it's not to tear anything down, of course, it's simply to provide context. As numerology has been commercialized and simplified so that it's more accessible, this holds value, but at the same time, it doesn't provide depth to understanding and interpreting your own personal numbers. The similar thing has happened with astrology, right? If I were to go up to you and ask you, what is your sign? A lot of people would just say, Leo, Pisces, Scorpio, but there are 12 other positions, okay? There are different planets, there are different houses, and you get into, the different decans of each zodiac sign. So there's about 24 different placements and then 3 different variations of each zodiac sign. So when you really get into astrology, that's where you truly understand those cosmic energetic cycles and planetary alignments. So I want to help people understand the significance behind just the surface or face value understanding of numerology. As I've mentioned before, I work from an esoteric viewpoint, which means that I look at the structure, the placement, the layers of energy behind those root digits, not just the surface level of understanding. So I'm going to walk you through 3 of the main misconceptions that come up when someone is approaching numerology and how I personally handle them differently. Starting with number 1. Your life path number is who you are. This comes up a lot. A lot of people think that once they do those calculations and they find that they are the life path 2, 5, 7, 9, okay, that is who they are as a person. But that is not the full truth. The life path is what you came in here to learn and understand about yourself. It's not who you are, it's who you are becoming. If you want to understand who you are more naturally, that is your birthday number. So if you look at your birthday number, a lot of people resonate with that energy more because it's your gifts, it's your talents, it's your baseline energy. And that's where people feel resonates with them more on the surface level because they're not trying to work to accomplish their birthday. Okay, they came in on that day. You came in already knowing and understanding that energy. And the life path number is the summary of your entire generation, okay? The summary of your month, the day, the year, all of that comprised into that root digit. So if you are the life path 5, it doesn't mean that you're naturally freedom loving. If you are the life path 5, you're here to learn how to be free through movement, through change, through your own personal experiences. It's not going to be easy for you. So if you are a 5 and you're struggling with understanding why you don't enjoy change, it's because it's part of your entire life lesson to understand that. Another example that comes up a lot is life path 8s. Okay, 8s get a lot of ish, okay, from not being wealthy or abundant. So if your life path is 8, you aren't naturally abundant. Those who are the life path 8 need to learn and understand how to handle finances, how to handle business, how to handle power dynamics as a whole, not simply be handed it. That is part of the challenge, or what you need to overcome when it comes to your life path number. So this is important to understand. If someone is telling you, you're a life path 3, and that means you should be good at art, but you hate communicating, and it doesn't come easily to you, it's because it's not your personality. It's your life's plan. It's the curriculum that you chose to sign up for and experience across your personal entire lifetime. And that life path number isn't a fixed identity. It changes and grows as you change and grow as a person. The life path is not who you are, it is who you are becoming. And so, number 2 comes up when people, understand that their life path number is just their journey. And they really want to know how these numbers hold meaning in the first place. And the second misconception is that numerology is strictly about numbers. Numerology is not just the study of numbers. It's not just add, reduce, that's it. Okay? That is only the basics of numerology. When you dive into numerology as a whole, you will understand that numerology includes phonetics, okay? It includes maths. It includes planetary symbolism. It includes other religious symbolism. It includes pattern recognition, okay? It is very spiritual at its core. But because of the simplification of the study of numbers, people sometimes misconstrue that if it has numbers in it, it must be numerology. But if you see the number 22, or if you walk in the store, which has a lot of 99s in it, that's not necessarily a sign from the universe. Those numbers are simply quantities that we've applied using mathematics. Okay, not every single number or resonance or frequency you see on your path holds a deeper spiritual meaning, right? We use numbers to quantify things. And unless you actually apply the study of numerology to that construct or give it context, it's just a symbol, okay? It's just a picture like anything else. It's not necessarily something deep for you to understand. And so numbers are important, but so are letters and sounds and the structures behind it. And an example of this comes up a lot when dealing with names, because a lot of people have the same name, but that name could be spelled completely different if you don't use the English alphabet. Okay, numerology can also be a struggle because some systems don't have a commercialized phonetic understanding of the letters. It's just based on the sequential order we put them in. And a common name that comes up for me is the difference between Stephen, okay, and this Stephen, right? And sometimes this Stephen gets called Stephen. So if this Stephen came up to me and told me his name was Stephen, I would have to evaluate that, because this is producing a different energy numerically than the phonetic understanding of the word, right? In Stephen, we have a V. And this Stephen, we have a PH. And so if I were to calculate it based off of the letter structure, I would get two different numbers. But if I were to look at it phonetically, right, the way the sounds are being produced, this Stephen could present as a different personality than what I'm expecting just by looking at the name itself. So you can work with numbers and get insight and value and understanding, but when you start listening to the vibration within the number, okay, the name, the sound, the symbols, you get the complete picture. Moving on. To misconception number 3. 2025 is a universal 9-year, and that's all you need to know. Right? Let's look at that. So how do we even get to understanding that 2025 is a 9-year? Well, we add 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5, and that gives us 9. Sure. From an esoteric viewpoint, reduction alone doesn't account for the entire buildup of energy being shown by this number. Nope. This number. Okay. $2025. This is the year 2025. And so the entire construct of this energy fully expressed is 2000 plus 20 plus 5. However, this is where zeros can be a little tricky because most numerology practices would immediately erase zero. Okay, they would completely ignore it. And when you break down 2025, you're not just dealing with 9. You're looking at 2020 and 5 as separate viable components of energy. This number as a whole, in order for us to get to 2000, we also have to look at that hundreds place. And behind that 100 is an entire cycle of energy sitting there. But if we were to treat that like nothing, we're missing an entire cycle of energy that is still being expressed through the year 2000. This zero is holding space between what was and what is next. So if we were at 99, in order to get to the year 2000, we have to add 1 and put a 0. But if we were to simply just knock that 0 out of here, we forget that this isn't simply just holding a place, it's holding space of an entire cycle of expression. And so what really is going on here is not 2000 plus 20 plus 5. It's 20 plus 99 plus 20 plus 5. And so this is how we find the true compressed levels of energy behind the year 2025. Not simply by adding the individual digits, because now we're ignoring this as a 0 here, but the 0 is specifically in the hundreds placement, right? It's not in the ones, it's not in the tens, it's not in the thousands. It's being expressed through the hundreds place. And so when we look at 2025, it may be a 9 year, but the 9 year expression isn't the same for every 9 year, right? The year 2007 is a 9 year, but it's being expressed in a different way energetically than 2025 would. The same could be said for 2016. And this is troublesome when we look at current numerology calculations, because they treat 0 like nothing. But when it comes to the year 2000, we aren't in the second year. We are in the 20th century, right? Not the second century. Technically 21st. Which I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. If we were to reduce 2000 using modern calculations, this will become 2. When its full expression is actually 20 because of the placement is 2000. So, there are a lot of numerology methods out there, and they are all valid depending on what you are trying to learn. And so, once you get the basics down, then you can learn and expand from there. And so this is simply an expansion of what you possibly see come up a lot in numerology textbooks, other videos online, when you're looking at your own numbers. But if something feels off, if you look at a number, you're going, that doesn't truly fit me 100%, it's often because we're reducing too soon or oversimplifying a number. Through my approach of esoteric numerology, it's not to replace those basic understandings, it's simply to add a dimension to those constructs. All right. So if you are interested in exploring this more, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, like the video if you learned something, and if you would like to book a reading, all that information is in the description box below this video. Thank you for joining me. I love you, and toodles.